So, come Saturday night, I'm coming in here to beat his. He gonna come, he gonna be tough, strong, but I'm coming to whoop his. I stand by that. I'm f***ing him up. Yeah.
False accusation.
You gotta think, right? It's okay.
Accusation.
We'll accept
I can't wait to beat this clown, bro. This dude is a clown.
Focus on me.
You better have that chin ready, baby. You better have it ready.
Real clown.
I already figured you out.
You not fighting.
What else you got, man?
Yo, senior, you're
I only
not
seen
in the
10
ring.
seconds of your fight.
I seen you fight before.
I only
You
seen
can't
10
fight.
seconds of your fight. You're boring as hell.
Come on, bro. Stop it, bro.
Boring, man. You almost got knocked out. Even your daughter said you got knocked out.
Knocked out. Tio got hurt his last fight too.
Ooh.
Didn't he get hurt his last fight?
Man, if it wasn't for those ropes.
Did Tio get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing punches,
Did Tio get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing punches,
I paid attention.
Terence Crawford cutting into the Stevenson vs. Lopez press conference instantly changed the mood. What started calm exploded the moment Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez stopped being polite and went straight at each other's pride. The entire room felt like it caught fire.
I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier, he said, Tio never lost to a southpaw. Well, I never lost to orthodox. So, it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You never been on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches for 6 rounds.
You never been on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
Because we
for 6
frozen.
rounds. Okay, you gonna see.
Like we gonna freeze you too.
You better not throw the towel.
Things escalated quickly when Teofimo Sr. spoke about breaking rules like Lomachenko and Taylor. Shakur fired back, immediately brushing those wins aside and saying Tio had never faced a truly elite fighter like him.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
Real hard.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm gonna show it.
From that point, it turned into non-stop verbal chaos. Shakur questioned Tio mental toughness. Tio shot back, calling Shakur boring and overrated. Both sides talked over each other as if they were already deep into a fight instead of standing at a press conference.
Be 100 times better come fight night against Teofimo Lopez than I was against Cepeda. 1,000 times better. Faster, sharper, stronger, mentally more on point, and I can't wait.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything, and I'm going to expose it.
The tension hit its peak once the words turned personal. Voices rose, security stayed close, and the room felt one sentence away from breaking into a fight. Even promoters like Eddie Hearn tried to shift it toward legacy and greatness, but the fighters had already taken control of the moment.
Thanks for the reminder, Chris. This place is special. I think when this fight was talked about, I think both Shakur and Teofimo Lopez need a huge amount of credit for making this fight. Both of the guys are the respective kings of their division. Teofimo Lopez, the #1 guy at 140. Shakur, the #1 guy at 135. And when I heard about this fight, I didn't expect it to happen. And, you know, the work that His Excellency's done, Ring Magazine, to make this fight quite sensational. But the icing on the cake is to see the fight at Madison Square Garden. This is, for me, the absolute mecca of boxing.
When Turki Alalshik called in, he sounded unimpressed by the disorder, which somehow made the situation feel even heavier.
This fight is the first step of crazy map of boxing next year and the beginning of 27. This is not an easy fight. Thank you so much.
By the end, both fighters were talking about dominance, embarrassment, and silencing the other. The press conference became a raw preview of how personal this fight really is. This was not hype. This was genuine hostility, and January 31st suddenly feels unavoidable.
So I just, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, cause it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and there's probably not.
Right after that emotional explosion, Teofimo Sr. stepped up to the mic, and the energy shifted from chaos to calm confidence. Listening to him, it felt less like trash talk, and more like a father explaining a mindset. He showed no concern for Shakur's stylistic looks or impressions. His message was simple. They are not guessing. They are preparing. What stood out most was his focus on growth and mentality.
Crawford in the past, and you know, Crawford stated, "Oh, you only got to me."
Yeah, but he really wanted to fight Crawford, and we're gonna call him out after we beat up his boy. You know,
so that's the game plan. Even though you guys have, even if he requires you,
well, he ain't gonna fight us, man. He ain't gonna fight us, man. We've been chasing this guy for the longest. My son is even willing to go up to 160 to fight him. You know, listen, speed kills. You know what I'm saying? Speed kills, and that's why we're gonna beat Shakur. He ain't faster than us, and we're gonna catch him. We're gonna catch him.
He painted Teofimo Lopez as a fighter who keeps improving because he chooses danger over comfort. When he spoke about legacy over money, underdog wins against Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, and adjusting styles fight to fight, the belief was clear. It was bold, dramatic, and perfectly aligned with how Teo's career has played out. He also brushed off talk about ring size and tricks, saying they are not chasing knockouts, they are there to outthink their opponent.
Okay, we do this for the legacy. So I tell my son, when I told him, you know, let's go after Colmig, let's go after Lomachenko, let's go after Josh Taylor. And all of those three fights, he was the underdog. You know what I'm saying? And big time. I mean, with Josh Taylor, he was like 23 experts said that he was going to lose. So, you know, and he gave us an amazing performance, you know. And it wasn't the same as the performance he gave with Barbosa's, you know, like his styles have changed all the time. And that's the scariest part about him, you know, and he comes to entertain, you know.
Some of the Crawford and Canelo comparisons may feel like a stretch, but they come with that confidence package. The real takeaway is this. Team Lopez is not hoping for luck. They truly believe speed, adaptability, and pressure can crack Shakur calm. Whether that belief holds up for 12 rounds is the question. But mentally, this was not noise. It was conviction. And when both sides think they are smarter, faster, and more prepared, fights stop being predictable and start becoming special.
Did Shakur by any chance implement a bigger ring, or like, you know?
We don't care about that, man. I mean, we're just gonna box this dude, man. You know, we're not going in there for the knockout. We never do. You know, the only fight that my son looked like sloppy was with Cambosis, because he was dying in there. And, you know, he said that he felt better when he was attacking more, you know. But we never do that. We always box.
After Teofimo Sr. laid out that mental chess story, the energy shifted again when Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. spoke. Now the voices belong to men who lived through fights like this. Their take felt grounded. Those were not marketing lines at the press conference. They were real fighting words. The sharp point they made was this. Shakur Stevenson creates in real time. He does not need a script or emotion. He reads, reacts, and builds round by round. Teofimo Lopez is explosive and capable of brilliance, but when chaos hits, he still needs structure to reset himself.
I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism, and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and he'll be like, "Ooh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there." But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson.
Ward and Roy were not disrespecting Teo at all. They actually gave him credit. The disrespect at the press conference was planned bait meant to pull Shakur into emotion instead of precision. That is high-level mental warfare. But they also made one thing clear. Trying to drag a calm, disciplined fighter into chaos can backfire fast. If Shakur loses patience, Teo has a chance. If Shakur stays composed, the plan collapses. The legends even joked that if someone spoke like that to them, a fight would have broken out. But Shakur is wired differently. He does not need to win the moment. He needs to win the night. That is the difference. This fight is not about volume or toughness. It is about keeping control when structure disappears.
What I think is that Tio just painted the outline by being as disrespectful as he can at the press conference because he wants to try to piss this kid off so the kid come fight with him. You understand me? Because with me, he have exactly what he wanted. Because as soon as I go in there, I'm coming straight to his head. You understand where I come from? So, but I think that's what he's trying to get. Yeah, you feel me? But I think that's what he's trying to get Shakur to do. Because why would you say that to a person? What does that have to do with boxing? You feel me? He knows that Shakur has great feet, and he's not gonna be able to catch Shakur if he lets Shakur take his time to do what he does. So he got to try to make Shakur come in and try to kill him, which is what he just did at the press conference.
After that blank canvas versus outline breakdown, the conversation moved into something even more dangerous: real experience. This is where Keith Cologne's perspective stood out. Now it was not theory, it was rounds shared in the ring. Listening to him, it became clear why Shakur Stevenson is such a difficult matchup. Cologne was not calling him mystical. He explained that Shakur reads movement instantly. Small dips shoulder turns tiny shifts, and Shakur already knows what is coming before it is thrown. That is not speed. That is processing. Cologne said it so casually, like it was normal, which explains why Shakur looks calm while others look stressed. He is reacting early, not late.
Just sparring him and then watching him, I always notice, I'm like, dang, when he, if you really pay attention to when he spar, when he fight, he already know what you want to throw before you throw it. Not because he's some type of, boxing guru or anything like that, but because he reading your body language. If you dip to this side, I'm already blocking for a possible hook or uppercut. I don't need to worry about a jab or right hand because the probability of you throwing that is not even, But so just watching him and sparring him, being in the ring with him, it's like, dang, just him understanding what a person could throw based on their body positioning. It always put him 2-3 steps ahead of his opponent.
Hearing that from someone who actually faced him matched exactly what Ward and Roy described. Shakur does not need chaos. He thrives in clarity. He lets the fight come into focus and then adjusts it. Cologne also explained why Teofimo Lopez is dangerous, as he must stay sharp for all 12 rounds. He gave Tio full respect, calling this a tougher fight than Shakur last one because of Tio athleticism and explosiveness. But he also pointed out small habits like dropping the lead hand and leaving the body open. Those are minor flaws until you face someone who feeds on details. Cologne mentioned past fights where Tio was slow to adjust. That is where Shakur takes over. One mistake turns into a pattern. The pattern turns into lost rounds before you even notice.
For sure, the most notable thing that come to mind is I remember when he fought Sander Martin. Every time he threw a right hand to the body, he never had his lead hand up. Sander Martin was just check hooking him to death. I'm just like when he's just gonna make the adjustment? When he gonna realize that he just keep getting hit with the right hook every time he try to throw the right hand? So those are the small adjustments that he had to make because sharp fighter, they gonna capitalize. So he got to be on his game.
Khan is not predicting chaos or knockdowns. He is predicting mental pressure. The kind that forces Tio into desperation late while Shakur quietly increases the gap. That is the most dangerous version of Shakur Stevenson. Calm, clean, and in control, walking away with a clear win while others debate when the fight slipped away. When you step back, this fight stops feeling like a simple style matchup and becomes a psychological test. Shakur is patient, calculated, and reading patterns before they fully form. Teofimo is explosive, emotional, and dangerous enough to flip everything with one opening. The press conference showed how personal it is. Teofimo Sr. showed how strong the belief is. Ward and Roy reminded us words can be traps. Keith Cologne confirmed what fighters already know. Shakur waits for chaos to expose itself. That is why January 31st matters. It is no longer about hype. It is about identity under pressure.
It's the stuff that he's tightening up things for Shakur to prepare for him, but also in sparring because, he may have lagged during this last sparring. So it's a lot, but it's definitely doable. And, but this is, the time is now, at the end of the day. Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like Shakur is going to outbox him. And it's going to be a point in time until he kind of get desperate. And that's when the gap is going wide, and then Shakur is just going, come out with a clean victory.
So the real question is simple. Does Teo force the moment and break through, or does Shakur quietly turn 12 rounds into a clinic while everyone debates when control was lost? That is the debate. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters.